Hey, what's going on everyone? This is iReviews back with another video, and today we're talking about iOS 18.4, one of the biggest updates to iOS 18 since its release. Now, we're about a week away from iOS 18.4 being released to the public, and it's actually quite a good update. So in today's video, we're gonna take a look at the final version of iOS 18.4 because we're expecting the RC to be released tomorrow, and then of course after a week the public release, and we don't expect any new changes to come to this update. So basically this is what we're getting. Now first of all, let's talk about some missing features. If you have been expecting to get the new Siri with iOS 18.4, I'm sad to tell you that it won't happen. We actually have been waiting for this feature. It was supposed to actually come out with iOS 18.4, then it was pushed to 18.5, and it looks like it won't even make it with 18.5, and that's a feature that will actually come to iOS 19, so don't expect any of the new Siri features with iOS 18. Now there's also another feature that Apple had added before on the first beta of iOS 18.4. They also removed that one. Right on the back tab right here had a banner which you could actually enable or disable that would pop up on the screen here whenever you would actually invoke one of the actions, the double tap or triple tap. Now another thing that has been removed on the Shortcuts app, now we have a lot of cool features here. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but you can see right here we have changed map settings, and if I just try to actually run this shortcut, it won't function because they have removed the shortcuts, the new shortcuts that they had added for the Maps app, which actually were super useful and would save you a lot of time. Now hopefully those will be added back again with the final release, but I don't really expect Apple to do that. So what are some of the best new features that iOS 18.4 will bring to your device? First of all, if you have a device that does support Apple Intelligence, you will get the new priority notifications. Now this actually works really well. I had it enabled since they have been released, and it actually works really well. Now you will have a button here with basically a kill switch where you can enable or disable these, and then you will also have buttons for each of the apps where you can choose whether you want to have priority notifications for that app or not. Now another great addition to iOS 18.4, and this one is for iPhone 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max users, is the ability to use visual intelligence on your device. And you will find it right here. You will have it as an action under this setting right here where you set the action button settings. You can go ahead and now choose visual intelligence, and you can even invoke it from the control center. And on the keyboard now, when you go to your emoji keyboard, you will have a bigger button right there for Genmoji. It's basically just a UI change. The function is the same, but it allows you to easier tap there and of course create your own emoji. And they finally have added the sketch option to the Playground app. Now, if you have Apple Intelligence on your device and you have used this feature to basically create different images, you know that you won't be able to use the sketch option, even though it's actually enabled on the Notes app. If you create something on a Notes app, you can use it. You hadn't been able to use this on the Playground app. Now finally they have added it with iOS 18.4. Now one of my favorite iOS 18.4 features is this one right here on Safari. Now on Safari, when you use the search bar right there to search something, it will actually save that for you. So if I just tap right there to go to search something, I will have my recent searches right here, and I can go ahead and make that search directly from here without needing to actually retype it on the search bar. Now you will also have a button right there to clear everything if you want to, and when you go to your settings and you go under Safari, you will also have the option to actually stop those searches, those recent searches, from showing there. If you don't want to have them, you will have this new section right here, show recent searches, and you can just go ahead and disable it. And with iOS 18.4 on Safari, you will also get right here a new option which will let you show the privacy, basically the security of each website. So if we go here, you will have connection security details, and it will show you all the security details you need to know for every website that you're visiting. And as we talked in the beginning of the video, iOS 18.4 will bring a ton of new actions on the Shortcuts app. Just search for change right there, and you can see you will have change book settings, change right here. You can see the calendar settings. You will have note settings and a lot of different settings that you can actually change. Also things like Safari, for example. If we go right here, you can see we can tap and it will show us a list of settings that we can change from Safari using a shortcut. Things like the search engine or the suggestions or the way you open links, you can now do all that using shortcuts. Moving to the control center, we have a few new things on the control center as well. Now, one of the best things right here is the ability to actually reorder all the toggles, all the controls that you have here way better than before. Now, this is actually way smoother and you will probably notice it the first time you're trying to add a control here or rearrange your current ones. We also have new things right here. We have the ambient music, which Apple has added with iOS 18.4. It's actually a pretty cool option. So if you have any of the ambient music toggles on the control center, you will be able to tap on them. You will have the playlist right here. You can switch between different playlists, and if you have Apple Music, you will also be able to choose your own playlist from your library, which is really awesome. Now with iOS 18.4, we have also Apple Intelligence and Siri toggles here. So talk to Siri, type to Siri, and visual intelligence as well. If you want to just to choose to actually invoke any of these features from the control center, now you will have all the new toggles. And of course, you can also add these to your lock screen on one of the buttons, so you can just launch things like visual intelligence directly from the lock screen. Now, the App Store also has gotten some really cool updates. First of all, when you're downloading an app or even when you're updating an app, now you can actually pause it directly from here. So if you just try to pause it, you can see it will show the resume button. You can resume anytime you want. But if you just want to cancel the download, then you will have to head to the control set to actually the home screen right here to just cancel the download. Another really cool thing, if you have Apple Intelligence in your device, is that now you can see a summary of the reviews. So when you go to ratings and reviews, you will see right here review summary. So you will basically see a summary of all the reviews that users have left on that app. Another thing that Apple has added with iOS 18.4 is the ability to now change your default app for translation. So you head onto your settings, you go to apps. On the default apps section, you can now go to translation right here. And if you have third-party translation apps, they will show right here. So you can choose one of them instead of the stock translation app of iOS. Now, what's really cool here, if you're on the EU, is that now you can also choose your default Maps app. Now, that is very useful. I hope Apple one day will allow everyone to do that. That's an amazing feature to have. I know a lot of people will use things like Google Maps or Waze or any other app that they like. So the ability to change the default Maps app would be amazing. Hopefully it will come really soon. We also have a couple of new filters for the Photos app. So when you go to the filters right here, tap on filter, you will see now two different things. Shared with you, which will only show you photos that have been shared with you, and then not in an album, where you will basically see only the photos that you haven't added to any of the albums of your device. Now, the podcast app has gotten two new widgets. So we have the library and the shows. So right here on the library, you will see, of course, stuff that you have saved on your library, and then you will have another one for your shows. Now you can actually edit this. If you go to edit widget, you can basically choose whichever one of your shows you want to display there. So if you just want to choose another one, you can do that as easy as that. And of course, you can go ahead and just start playing it directly from here. Now, there is also a new animation for typing to Siri. So when you invoke Siri here, there will be a new pretty cool animation, which is way better than the old one. And also another great thing is that now when you go into an app and invoke type to Siri, it will actually show you this prompt, what I can do in settings in this case. And if you just tap there, it will show you a few different things that Siri is able to do within that app. And it will do this for actually all of the apps that you have on your device. Of course, the default iPhone apps. So these are some of the new features and changes that are coming to your device with iOS 18.4. But how does it look when it comes to battery and performance? So let's first take a look here at the battery and how it did actually perform in the last few days. So that we have the battery. Now keep in mind that this device is currently at 91% battery health. Most likely it's way lower than that because it has been stuck right there on 91 for the last like 3 or 4 months. That's really weird, but again, that doesn't always show you the real battery health of your device. Most likely it will always be different, but again, it doesn't update. So here we have like the last few days. So today we have right there about maybe 75% battery usage, and it's actually at 9 hours and 24 minutes. Right here, 125% usage, again 9 hours, and then 120% usage, 8 hours 6 minutes, and then right here 7 hours and 15 minutes with 100% battery usage, and then right here again 100%, 8 hours 4 minutes. Always of course different based on which apps you're using, whether you're using Wi-Fi or cellular data, but quite a solid battery life. Not the best ever, but it's actually not that bad. And here's the latest Geekbench 6 score for iOS 18.4 on an iPhone 15 Pro Max. The single core score quite solid there at 2,949, while the multi-core score has actually dropped a bit from iOS 18.3's currently at 7,330. This is most likely the best I got with iOS 18.4. It was around 7,400 with 18.3, but again, it's not that bad. It's not a huge decrease. Most likely it will be improved in the next few days, but again, the performance is actually quite solid. So when to expect this update to be released? Well, we're currently on the last beta. We have a build number ending with an A, which indicates that there will be no more beta. So this is what we'll actually getting with iOS 18.4. Most likely tomorrow or on the 25th, we're getting the RC version, which is basically the last version released to the devs before they move on and release this to the public. And then the public release most likely on April 1st or 2nd. We have heard from Apple that iOS 18.4 will be released on April. It might happen even on the 31st, but I don't think that will happen. But the 1st or the 2nd of April should be the dates that we get iOS 18.4 released to the public. So that's basically it for this video, guys. This is iOS 18.4. Again, even though we don't have a few of the features that we have been expecting to get with this update, it's still an amazing update with more than 50 new features and changes. So that is it. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for more, and I will see you on the next one.